So in this equation, we're looking for where tangent squared equals 2 tangent of x. We're in radian mode and we're looking for all the answers of x in between 0 and 2 pi. So right away I have tangent squared graph, which is representing this purple function here. 2 tangent then would be the blue one. And we're looking for where they're equal. And so I can see that they are going to intersect right here and here. The other location where they will cross ends up being on the x-axis here, here, and here. So I have 5 different answers that I need to find between 0 and 2 pi. And so right away I can see 0 and 2 pi are going to be an answer. So with a problem like this, you could think of it as a quadratic, and it's a little different than others that we've done. And so with this problem, I can't divide both sides by x because that could potentially eliminate a solution. But what I would need to do is subtract 2x from both sides, where I'd get x squared minus 2x equals 0. And then I would take out the greatest common factor. And so these each have in common an x. I'd be left with then x minus 2. So my 2 answers would be 0 and 2. So we're going to use that same process with this equation. I'm going to subtract over the 2 tangent of x. So I will have tangent squared of x minus 2 tangent of x. Now that's equal to 0. Factor out the greatest common factor, which is a tangent of x. So I'd be left with a tangent of x minus 2. From here, I'm going to set each of them equal to 0. So I know that tangent of x would need to equal 0. And tangent of x would need to equal 2. Now this is split apart into 2 separate problems where I need to find all the x values where tangent is 0 in between 0 and 2 pi, and all the x values where tangent is 2 in between 0 and 2 pi. Looking at our unit circle, I know that the tangent is 0 at this location, which you could call 0, and at this location, which is pi. And then you could go back around again, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, so on and so forth. And so that gives me my answers 0, pi, 2 pi. Keep in mind I'm including these answers because these are square brackets around 0 and 2 pi, so that means we do want to include those answers. So I found the first 3, which means we need 2 more answers. Tangent's ratio is now 2, which is not a ratio on our unit circle. So I'm going to take the tangent inverse of positive 2. Tangent is positive in the first and in the third quadrant. And so this angle right here is approximately 1.107 radians. And for tangent, I don't really need to find this answer because I know that they're going to be 180 apart. So now that I have this answer, I can add 180, add 180, add 180 forever, until I get all the answers that we're looking for. So my general solution would be roughly 1.107 plus increments of, and not 180, but actually pi, since we're in radian mode. So from here, this is one answer in between 0 and 2 pi. I would add 1 increment of pi to it to get another. My other answer is then going to be 4.249. Here are my other 2. We could look back at the graph to make sure that these make sense. So here's the 0, the pi, and the 2 pi. And then 1.107 pi over 2 is roughly 1.5, so that does seem reasonable. Pi is about 3.14, so this is about 4.29, which also seems reasonable, so we're done.